What's new, crew? If you're new, my name is Cassandra. Today I want to share with you guys my sourdough loaf recipe. Nothing's gonna be crazy in here. We're just gonna get right to it. I'm not gonna add in a ton of crazy information. I'm very new to sourdough. I've only been making it for about a couple of weeks, really. But when I first tried to get into sourdough about a year and a half ago, there was so much information. It was just like an information bomb. I felt like the more I researched, the more confused I was. Took a big break and then came back, and this is just gonna be simple. I'm just sharing how much of everything we're dumping into our bowl here, how we're baking it, temperature, all that stuff. All of that extra stuff, we're gonna forget about it for right now. If there's anything I could tell people who are getting into sourdough to avoid that like information burnout of just like, okay, this is too much for me, we're just gonna shelf it. Which I've had a lot of people in my personal life tell me recently, because they're also trying to get their sourdough like up and running and learn on these things, is I would say just get your sourdough starter going and just start making bread. I told myself I was gonna make sourdough bread every single day for like a week or something. Even if the bread kept turning out crappy, I was just gonna keep going, stick to it with the same recipe, which is the recipe I'm gonna share with you guys today, just to keep getting practice under my belt, learn my sourdough, figure out my own feed ratios, what my sourdough likes for my temperature in my kitchen, because it doesn't matter how many videos you watch, everybody's sourdough is going to be different based on the temperature of their kitchen, what flour they're using, water, all of these things. There are so many variables. So just forget about everybody else. I just needed to get in, learn my sourdough starter, learn how it worked in my kitchen, and that would be my biggest tip, is just jump in, feed your sourdough, keep feeding your sourdough, and just listen to your sourdough would be my thing. So here's what I do. Here's both of my sourdough starters. I have two, because what I did is I started with this one here, but because I was experimenting with different feed ratios and different things like that, more flour, less flour, more water, less water, I wanted to have two sourdoughs, different starters. That way I could experiment with different things, and if I killed one, I would have a backup. So you could also do that, make two sourdoughs, feed them a little bit differently, feed one more often, one less often, and just figure out what works for your kitchen. Luckily, both of my sourdough starters did really well. They both came to life, which is great. So now I've just been going back and forth between starters here. So I fed these a couple of hours ago. I ran some errands, came back. Now they are ready to go. So if you are wondering if your sourdough starter is ready, this is the best tip I can give you. It should float. So the first thing I'm gonna put in my bowl here is our water. I re-zeroed out my scale. We're gonna go for 60 grams of starter. Remember, 60-ish. So you can see how that's floating on top. It didn't sink to the bottom of my bowl. That means that there's actually gas in your starter, and it's gonna help lift your bread. That's what that is. I'm gonna re-zero out my scale, and I'm gonna mix this in. Now we're gonna add in 10 grams of salt. Remember, 10-ish. I know some people who add in way more salt than that. I zeroed this back out. Now we're gonna add in 500 grams of your flour of choice. I'm using bread flour, Sam's Club's brand of bread flour. Use what you want, but this is what I'm using. I'm gonna mix it as much as I can with my bread whisk here, my dough whisk rather, and then I will get in with my hands and mix it. Once we get this mixed and into a dough ball, there's no dry spots, nothing like that. We're just gonna let this hang out for about an hour. You can cover it with a tea towel, a kitchen towel if you want to, saran wrap. Just put it in your oven, kind of whatever you want. Obviously oven off. Sometimes I'll turn my oven light on, sometimes not. but we're just gonna let this hang out for an hour while we go do something. We're coming back after an hour or so of resting. I'm gonna take a wet hand and go ahead and start doing my stretch and folds. If you get your hand a little wet, it just helps the sourdough not stick to you quite as much. And I'm just gonna pull and fold until I feel like I've stretched and folded enough. I like to do it a handful of times. I don't know, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 times. Like really, it just kind of depends. Cover it back up with my towel and wait another half an hour-ish. Sometimes it's a little more, sometimes it's a little less, you know, life. You can see I have a little helper here. We're gonna do our second stretch and fold session about every 30 minutes. I'm going to do my last set of stretch and folds. Then I'm gonna cover it, let it hang out for the rest of the night, about 3-4 hours, or whenever I manage to come back to it, and we will put it in our little bread loaf pan, our little proofing bowl, and wrap it in a plastic bag, put it in the fridge overnight, and we will bake it tomorrow morning. So pretty hands off. I'm gonna do my last stretch and fold here. Let it just hang out while I deal with all of the evening things, dinner, homework, things with the kids. And then probably after I put the kids to bed, or as I'm cleaning up the kitchen tonight, whenever is convenient for me, I will get it in my proofing bowl for the evening. All right, we're coming back to the sourdough. This is how I'm gonna package it to put it in the fridge to let it proof overnight. I'm gonna dump my sourdough out on the counter. I'm gonna try to pull it into a square. You can see our little helper is back. I'm gonna take one end of my sourdough here and pull it halfway across. We're gonna grab the other part, pull it halfway across, and then roll it into a nice little ball. And that is going to go in your proofing basket. Sometimes you'll see I'll do a little bit of a tuck and fold, try to roll it under there a little bit, but I'm just gonna take that and dump it upside down so that all of the seams are facing up in your proofing basket. We're gonna put it in just a regular store bag and pop it in the fridge overnight. The next morning I wake up, I preheat my Dutch oven in my oven to 450 degrees. I'm gonna take a parchment square. I got these parchment squares pre-cut off of Amazon. There's 200 in a package. I absolutely love them. I'm just gonna dump that onto my parchment square, give it a little bit of a score with my razor or a knife, really whatever you have. Doesn't have to be fancy. One line down the center, perfect, especially for a beginner like myself. I'm gonna put the top back on my hot Dutch oven, put it in my oven 20 minutes with the top on at 450. After 20 minutes, I'm gonna take the top off and I'm gonna push it right back in. I'm leaving my temperature alone, 450, for another 15 to 20 minutes-ish. And then I'm gonna go ahead and pull that out, and you can see how beautifully golden the sourdough is. It's perfect. It pairs delicious with butter, your homemade jams, my kids' favorite peanut butter and jellies, but this is a perfect staple for the holidays. I hope wherever you are, you're having a fantastic day, and I'll catch you guys in another one.